Although the Nintendo Switch has been a phenomenal console from the moment it came out, there are always improvements, especially when it first releases. The general public finally gets a hold of something that a company like Nintendo has been working on for years, and then they come up with better plans and ideas that the company didn't really think through. Or those were the best advancements at the time when Nintendo decided to create the Nintendo Switch. Today, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro, and I'm going to give you guys my features that I want on the console, as well as things that I want improved from the base model. While the Nintendo Switch has a pretty solid lifespan already, the Nintendo Switch V2 that released in 2019 had a significant upgrade to the battery life of the Nintendo Switch. There still could be a much larger improvement upon the battery's fully charged capabilities. Switches are so convenient to not only pass the time, but to use and play when you're on the go. No one actually wants to carry around an external battery pack to charge the Switch either. That's why for the Nintendo Switch Pro, I want them to improve the battery life substantially. My next big feature that I'd like on the Nintendo Switch Pro is voice chat. Now, with Nintendo's current voice chat capabilities, there is currently no way to actually voice chat unless you have the Nintendo Switch Online application on your smartphone. Now, with Nintendo Switch Online, it makes voice chatting extremely inaccessible, and to be honest, I would much rather use just about any other voice chatting service anyway. The only real way I feel like Nintendo could combat this issue is to add their own voice chat service, or Nintendo could find a way to work with third-party companies such as Discord. And even that's a stretch because the only headphone jack that Nintendo offers is on the console itself. So if you're chilling back playing some couch gaming and you have the Nintendo Switch docked, there's minimal ways to actually chat with a group of friends on any games. Moving on, we have a better screen. There's a few things that I would like for a better screen, and not only would I like it bigger, but I would like it to have an OLED display that hopefully features a larger screen size and hopefully better resolution. Currently in handheld mode, the Nintendo Switch can only display 720p, but it can handle 1080p while it's docked. It would be marvelous if in handheld mode we could get up to 1080p gaming. And of course, I would like it upscaled to 4K while it's in docked mode. Now, the next thing is a big hardware improvement, and that is a better docking station. Not only is the docking station currently a total eyesore, but it's a pain as well. Nothing would make me more happy to get a better and more improved docking station for the Nintendo Switch Pro, or as I call it, the Nintendo Switch Dock Pro. With the current base unit, I can't tell you the amount of times I've had to actually replace the screen protector because of how easy it is to scuff it up while you're trying to dock the Switch. I think that there can be a much smoother docking situation all around. Now, there are some third-party solutions that do offer this, but for the Dock Pro, I'm looking for a 4K UHD SoC inside the machine that can upscale the Switch up to 4K as well. Next up, we have better internal storage. With the base Nintendo Switch only offering a measly 32 gigs worth of memory, it needs dramatically improved to at least 128 on the Nintendo Switch Pro. It's safe to say that internal memory has increased, and I'm sure Nintendo could find a way to make it affordable to give us more internal memory. Now, sure, I don't mind going out and buying an SD card, that's no problem, but I still would love to have some internal storage that's a little bit more than 32 gigabytes. And to be completely honest, I feel like anything above 32 gigabytes would be extremely nice to get, but I'm not holding my breath for this request. Next up is a fan favorite that everybody is dying to get on the Nintendo Switch, and that is Bluetooth support. I can't stress enough how nice it would be to get wireless headphone Bluetooth capabilities for the Switch. When I'm on a car ride, sitting on the couch, in bed, or whatever I'm doing while playing the Nintendo Switch, it would be astonishing to get actual Bluetooth support. No one wants to have their headset or headphones plugged into the Switch, especially when it's got to be plugged into one of the most inconvenient spots on the entire console. This next one Nintendo received quite a bit of backlash for, and that is the Kickstand. And for the Nintendo Switch Pro, I'm looking for a sturdier and just better kickstand all around. Have you ever tried to play your Switch on the go and you just set it on a desk or whatever and the thing continuously falls over? That's been my primary experience with the Nintendo Switch kickstand, but I can understand why they did that. That was a design choice. It's primarily meant to be easy to snap on and snap off, just in case you have it sitting there and it actually breaks, you're not completely out of luck. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Nintendo Switch kickstand was a phenomenal idea, but I think that it needs to be either improved or it just needs to become more sturdy. Next up, we have improved screen capture and video recording capabilities. Nothing stinks more than when you do something cool and it lasts more than 30 seconds. So when you click the button to record your awesome clip, it doesn't get all of it. Improving the replay capture capabilities is an absolute must for content to be produced off the Switch. Otherwise, the only other way is to purchase an actual gaming capture card, which normally isn't very cheap at all. With Nintendo reverting their stance on content creation on YouTube and other platforms, this is definitely a big option. If I'm not hooked up to my dock or my Switch isn't hooked up to my capture card, I still want to be able to capture, record, and share these moments with my friends, as well as you guys that are watching my videos. This would be a good way for Nintendo to not only double down on their stance, but embrace content creators. Give us a better way to screen capture and record for as long as we have memory card space. Now, this next one isn't a make or break, but that is a customizable user interface. This might be a hot take, but in my opinion, the Nintendo Switch needs to have one. Currently, the Switch has no background customization, no app moving, and overall just nothing really to it. Now, I will say the UI is pretty snappy and the functionality is there, and it's pretty much easy to figure out everything that there is to the app, but I think for the Switch Pro, it's time to step it up another level. I think that the Nintendo Switch could very well benefit from a sharp user interface change. Who wouldn't love to have Mario bouncing all around the screen when you have a Mario game ready to load up, or even see an overview of Hyrule Kingdom as a background? The 3DS allowed you to purchase wallpapers and allowed you to decorate your user interface, so what's stopping the Nintendo Switch? Last but not least, we have one of the biggest issues with the current Nintendo Switch, and that is the Joy-Cons. For the Nintendo Switch Pro, they need to improve the Joy-Cons and ensure the Joy-Cons don't have drift. Praise be the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, because I personally believe it's one of the best controllers ever made. That being said, not so much for the Joy-Cons. With all of the ideas listed already, such as a larger screen could result in a larger system itself. I think that the Joy-Con buttons are a little small, which can result in bad timing for handheld gamers. Making the Nintendo Switch Pro bigger with added result in larger Joy-Cons could result in some easier handheld gaming. But a bigger Joy-Con is the last of Nintendo's issues. If they don't want to have to worry about lawsuits with the Nintendo Switch Pro, they need better Joy-Cons that don't have drift. That is my biggest complaint about the Switch system right now, is the Joy-Con drift is so terrible. I've had to buy tons of different Joy-Cons because of this issue, and I'm at the point where I just don't even want to play handheld anymore. I would much rather hook up the Pro controller and just let the Switch lay on my lap than play with the Joy-Cons ever again. Thank you guys all once again for watching. This has been Wes, and I will talk to you on the next video.